Hi Cardinals! Here is your last math lesson for second grade. Yay, we made it! Great job working so hard this year. So for today's math activity, you're going to be solving mixed word problems. And before we get started, you want to make sure you have a piece of paper and a pencil nearby, because I want you to solve this on paper and then type in the answer. So the directions say make a drawing, write an equation, and solve the problem. So we're going to do all three steps for our word problems. So if you need to, pause the video so you can run and get a piece of paper and a pencil to solve the problems. All right, I'm going to read the first one. Sarna read 12 books last summer. Antoine read 9 books. How many fewer books did Antoine read? All right, so I remember our skill of when we read word problems, we circle the number. So I'm going to do that. You don't have to do that. You can if you want. So I went up and I made a shape. And then I'm going to change the color to transparent so we can see it. And the border to red, so that way I can see. There we go. And then I find my other number. So you could do the same thing again, or I'm going to use Control C and Control V on my keyboard, and that will make a second one. And I see the number 9. And then when I was reading, I also heard an important word, which we put into a box. So transparent means it's see-through, so that's why we click that, and then my red for my outline. All right, so thinking about this word problem, I'm going to read it a second time. So the first time I was just reading to find the information. The second time I'm reading to understand it. So Sarna read 12 books last summer. Antoine read 9 books. Okay, so from that I know Sarna read more. How many fewer books did Antoine read? So I'm going to solve this by using comparison bars, because I see that there are two numbers and I see the word fewer, more. And I see that they're comparing. So they're talking about two different people and comparing what they have. So there's my comparison bars. All right, so as I was reading, I know that Sarna has more, so she's going to go on top. Let me make it a little bigger. So there's my S, which means Antoine is going to go on the bottom. And then I fill in my numbers. So I know 12 goes with Sarna. And I know that 9 goes with Antoine. So that tells me, if I look at this like a math mountain, that I have my top of my math mountain and the bottom of my math mountain. So I know when I have a math mountain and I have the top and the bottom that I have to subtract. So I'm going to insert a text box so I can write my equation. So my equation would be 12 minus 9 equals. And then you can solve that one. All right. And then you can type your answer here and your label. Let's look at number 2. So I'm going to do 1 and 2 with you, and then you'll do 3 and 4 by yourself. So Emma has 5 carrots. Her friend gives her 8 more. How many carrots does Emma have now? So I'm going to click on those circles again and do Control Copy, which is Control C, and Control V, which is paste. And then I can just move it down to my new problem. that. We go to that circle again. And now I see 8, but with the word more. So I'm going to put them in a circle together. How many carrots does Emma have now? So if you wanted to use comparison bars to solve it, I could copy these ones, Control C, Control V, and just change the information that's in them. So let me take out that information, and then I can fill in with the information in number 2. All right, so Emma has 5 carrots. Her friend gives her more, so I take away the number the second time I read it to help me. How many carrots does Emma have now? So you may think comparison bars will work for this one, or the strategy you want to use, but even though her friend is in the problem, they're not comparing who has more or who has fewer. So up here, they were trying to figure out which person had more or fewer. Down here, the same person is getting more. So I would not use comparison bars for this problem. Instead, I might use a math mountain. So this would count as my drawing. So I have my total at the top. And then I want my 2 add-ins at the bottom. C to make a new box, Control C and Control V. All right, and then I can fill it in. So Emma has 5 carrots. Her friend gives her 8 more. So I have to think about that. If she has 5 and she's getting more, that means I don't know my total. Okay? I know how much she started with, which is 5. I know how much she is getting, but I don't know her total. So when we have a math mountain, think about what we do when we have 2 bottom numbers. So when we have 2 bottom numbers, and we don't know our total, we add. So 8 plus 5 equals, and then you guys can solve that and write your label there. And then number 3 and 4, I'm going to read them, and you can pause and solve it if you want. There are 11 children at the pond. Some children went in the water. 8 children stayed out of the water. How many children went into the water? So this one's not talking about more or fewer, and it doesn't have people that are comparing. So I would probably just use a math mountain for that one. Mario has 14 red tomatoes. He has 3 green tomatoes. How many more red tomatoes than green tomatoes does Mario have? So again, you can solve that one any way you want. There's it's just about one person, but there are 2 different colored tomatoes. So maybe you could use comparison bars for that one. Or you just want to solve it mentally, or using a math mountain. All right, let's look at the second activity. The second activity is called number riddles. And they have an example for us, and I'm going to put this in present so we could see it a little bit bigger. So they will give you some clues, and you have to figure out the number that they are talking about and tell why. So the example says I'm greater than 25, so the number's bigger than 25. I am less than 30, so it's going to be between 25 and 30. And it has to be even. So I know even numbers are numbers that end in 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. So if I think of the numbers 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29, only 2 of them are even, which would be numbers 26 or 28. So I know 26 or 28 is my answer because they are even, 27 and 29 are odd, so they cannot be the answer. All right, so let's look at this one. I'm greater than 90. I am less than 100. So it's going to be 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. And it's odd. What numbers could I be? So remember I said evens were my 0, my 2, 4, 6, and 8. Well, your odd numbers are 1, 3, or numbers that end in 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So let's make that bigger. So those are your odd numbers. But I can't just put 3 here because it says it's greater than 90. So my number has to be in the 90s, and it's less than 100. So if I look at my odds, it could be any of those in front or behind the 9. So it could be 91, because that's an odd, 93, 95, 97, or 99. Because those are all odd numbers that are greater than 90, but smaller or less than 100. So I could write those, and it says, explain how you know you are correct. So I will write numbers that end in 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9 are odd. I could say, and those numbers are between 90 and 100. All right, so then you can do the 3 other riddles by yourself. And then down here it says write your own number riddle. So I might write one that says, like, I am greater than 15. I am less than 30. I have 2 of the same numbers. What number could I be? So that's my riddle. So you can solve that one, or you can come up with your own. All right, guys, good job on math this year. We are so proud of you. We wish we could be teaching you math in class, but we're so glad you've been watching the videos and working so hard on the Google Slides and on your packets. I hope you guys have a fantastic summer, and I can't wait to see you as 3rd graders. Bye, Cardinals!